Hi, Cassie. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great, thank you. I see you have Spunk the Amazon with you today. Can you tell us a little bit about Spunk?
Yeah, so Spunk is a lilac crowned Amazon, and he's about 20 years old. That's what the veterinarian thinks. Actually, I have some news. He's got a lot to say as well. Um, he I do have some news from the veterinarian because I did have him DNA tested for gender, and he is DNA confirmed as a male. So that's his gender. And yeah, we're here with Spunk today, and he has things to say himself. He's a
Okay.
pretty talkative and active bird. This morning, it's interesting because before we went on camera, he was kind of like hiding in the corner, but now we're on camera and he's ready to talk. I also have birds in another room, and so when they tend to call, he tends to respond.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah,
Okay. And you mentioned that he was around 20s or so, or that's what the vet said.
that's what the
What?
vet believes. We don't have any kind of for sure on him because he was originally picked up from the San Francisco Animal Control.
Yeah. And what is the life expectancy of this kind of bird?
I believe it was 40s to 60s.
Okay. So Spunk is definitely on the younger side of that range and lots of years to give to his parents.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And I would even think so. They know because he was picked up from animal control, we don't really know for sure how old. In order to have the lilac coloration, they have to be older than 5 because they don't get that lilac coloration until 5. So we know he's older than 5. I would say he's on the younger side. Just his behaviors. I have another Amazon, different species, but still, uh, he's just more playful. I feel like, and he acts younger. So I feel like he's on the younger side. So we'll say 20, but I he's on the younger side, definitely.
Okay. Great. And you also mentioned him talking. I'm sure he speaks fluent bird. Does he also imitate the human language or make other non-bird sounds?
So with because he stayed with several different fosters, and so with one of the people that he stayed with, he
Mhm.
apparently sang Coca-Cola Goes to Town, which is a song and super cute. And he was saying all sorts of things. He was saying things like lawyer can't help you. But with me, no, he hasn't said any of those things. I will say he's an incredible mimic. And so to give you an idea of this, of what I mean by this is so within 48 hours of being in the same room as my Amazon, he said the word apple. And that's something that my Amazon says. And when my Amazon uses the word apple, it doesn't mean that he wants an apple. It means he wants people food. But was it Spunk has not learned what the word means, but he could mimic it. And I've never really seen a bird pick something up that fast. That being said, he doesn't talk a lot around me. He mostly has been making cockatiel sounds, and actually, I took him to the vet for the DNA test, and the vet was like, "Oh, he's making all these cockatiel sounds," and I was like, "Well, I have cockatiels." And so he's been making a lot of cockatiel sounds. And so you'll hear that from him right now. So, what it may be is that he just mimics whatever he hears. So, if the TV in the background is saying something, he's going to mimic it. Um, it may be that. And I want to say my cockatiels are probably my Amazon says things, but my Amazon is not particularly talkative. So he's probably hearing the cockatiels all the time.
Okay.
So that's why I think, but I haven't heard him speak so much he hasn't said things like, however, I will say sometimes he mumbles under his breath, and I'm not good. So to give you an idea, so my Amazon says like apple, he says I love you, and he says hello. Hello, he learned with me because he understands that it's a greeting, but he says it very crisply. This bird tends to like mumble, and if I was closer and really listening, maybe I would hear it, but I just haven't heard the words
Yeah. Well, some
that
birds will
he has
practice.
said with others.
Yeah, some birds will practice the word a little quietly
Mhm.
before they make
Mhm.
the grand announcement that I actually can say this word.
And that being said, too, I don't discourage talking, but I don't necessarily. Some people really try to get them to talk a lot. I don't necessarily do that, so maybe that's why he hasn't. Like, you know what I mean? I Some people just really want their birds to talk, so they'll do a lot of work around getting them to speak, and so maybe he would if I really was putting in that work around it. So I don't know.
Speaking of Apple, can you tell us a bit about Spunk's diet?
Yes. So he gets a Zupreme and Harrison's mix. So he gets like just 50-50. And he gets the Zupreme. It has a picture of a cockatoo on the front, so it's the larger Zupreme pellets. And then the Harrison's Adult Lifetime. And then in the bowl, closest to Spunk right here, he has a mixture of fruits and veggies. So what I give them seasonal a little bit, but all the time because it's always available. They're getting apples, they get carrots and snap peas because I can usually get those. Then what I'll also do, like right now, I was able to get bell pepper, and so I got bell pepper and chopped it up, and a cucumber. So he's got all of those in the bowl that he's closest to right now.
Does he get treats? And if so, what does he think is a treat?
Yes, so he does get treats, and I'm giving the Laffer Bears little seed balls.
The Nutriberries? That
Yes, the Nutriberries.
okay,
Yes.
cool.
And he likes those a lot. When I first got him, he was pretty underweight, and his weight went down the first week that I had him. So down to, I want to say it was about 300. But then since that time, it's gone up, and I just weighed him yesterday, and he was 337. So I was giving him quite a few of the Nutriberries, and he's going to start getting a few less. Because my Amazon gets like one Nutriberry a day, and that's it.
Mhm.
I don't know if he agrees that he likes that idea, um but nonetheless he's going to get cut back on the Nutriberries. I was just really concerned about his weight at first, and then the first week it went down, so then I was even more concerned, but then now it's gone up. So
Okay. So in terms of his care, does he need any special care, special medication? It feels like maybe not.
no, he has no special medication at this time and no special care. However, he doesn't fly. And we don't know for sure, but the initial veterinarian that checked him out thinks that there was at some point a wing injury,
Mm.
to both sides though. Like, cause it's like he can extend. So let me go back. He can extend his wings fully. He flaps his wings all the time. But if you look at him, especially when he goes from space to space, his keel bone is very visible, and he had some sort of injury. He can't fly. What I will say though is because he can extend his wings, he can soften his landing.
Mhm.
Like, so let's say he was to decide he's going to jump to the floor, he can soften that landing by flapping his wings. So, but he can't maintain flight.
Got it. Okay, so he can glide but not gain altitude.
Yeah, it just goes down to the ground, but maybe
Yeah.
not hard.
Yeah.
And we don't know what exactly the reason for that is.
Yeah. And that often happens when we get birds that are strictly rescues from a shelter.
Mhm.
Um,
He
s-
also loves playing with, he loves chewing wood blocks. He just
mhm.
did it right there, but he loves to chew his wood blocks.
Yeah, tell us about the dimensions of the cage that he's in, if you would.
Oh gosh. I would say it's probably like 2 feet on the sides by maybe 4 feet across here, and then probably 4 feet tall.
Okay. And the bar spacing?
The bar spacing is probably like 3/4 an inch.
Okay, cool. And so he's obviously doing pretty well with you. He's very calm and composed, even though, the cage door is open. How does he do with the younger adults or younger kids, I should say?
I don't have any children, so I don't have any experience with how he would do around children. But in general, I wouldn't recommend, I mean, I wouldn't recommend to have young children around birds, especially unsupervised. Sometimes, a particularly like older kids are okay, but it's never safe to just let your children run around birds. And the small birds, it's for their own safety. For the large birds, it's for both the child safety and the bird safety, because obviously Spunk has a big beak, so he could bite if he chose to.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't really say it's super safe to have young children around birds at all. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way Mickaboo feels. That's the way I feel. So I
Um,
will say, however, I have a partner that I live with, and Spunk is actually pretty friendly around my partner.
okay.
And this is compared to my other blue fronted Amazon, who, if my partner comes into the room, my blue fronted Amazon will attack him. He will, if
Mhm.
he's perched someplace, he could be perched, just being a perched potato, he will leave the perch and go try to attack him. And so, in comparison, Spunk does not do that. And also, I did a little reading about lilac crowned Amazons, and unlike other species of Amazon, which tend to be one person birds, and I would say my blue fronted Amazon fits this. My blue fronted Amazon loves me, hates everybody else. Um, and so this bird is known to be like friendly with multiple people in the household as opposed to just one person.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to
Hey, how's it going? So like it's just what the species is known for, is to be friendly with multiple people, which is kind of it's nice, because if you could have a bird that would be able to come out when you have guests over, this
know.
bird might be that bird, not necessarily would, but the species is more known to not respond with just one person, but to be friendly with all individuals in the household.
Okay. Well, in the last minute or two before we wrap up here, what would you tell a potential adopter who's considering adding Spunk to their household?
I would say Spunk is a great bird. He is a friendly bird. He has a lot to say, and he's playful. I think he would do wonderful in a household that wanted to have an Amazon live with them. He also does well around my other Amazon and has shown some interest in interaction. So I would say he'd do great in your household, and come take a look at him and see if he might fit in.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Cassie and Spunk, and we hope the best for both of you.
Yes, Spunk is excited about it.